You doing this? I'm doing this.
You're doing this.
Oh, fantastic. What's up, folks? We are the We Try and Channel, a Native by Nature production. That is Leroy. I am Michael. We're back. Look at that. Doing another video in a somewhat routine, regular way. Who would have thought? Um,
The world's ending, so I mean,
okay. Yeah. I can't argue with that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of things we could talk about. What we were going to talk about is, what did we say? The Game Award nominations?
I just say we talk about video games again because right now the world's ending and I can't deal. So, uh, I also the video game award nominations dropped and Microsoft did a partnership showcase.
Yeah, ID Xbox partnership. I
Yeah.
haven't seen
So
it, so I don't know what was announced.
I don't know either. So I wanted to acknowledge that we saw that it happened, but
Okay, sure.
neither one of us have watched it. So don't
Yeah,
ask us about
maybe
it.
in the next week, in
Yeah.
the next video, we'll talk about that.
But
Um,
Uh, yeah, the video game
yeah,
awards.
yeah.
The 3 hour commercial
Hmm.
uh, award show that highlights the best in gaming and shows us the new things that are coming out in the next year to a decade. So
So, have you looked at any of the nominees yet?
I have, and
You're
I
a
am.
big fan during award season of saying what's been snubbed and what hasn't been snubbed. Has anything been snubbed in your mind?
So here's the funny thing about the video game awards.
Hmm.
When it comes to movies, I do think there's a difference. Well, how do I say this? There's a lot of simulators and there's some differences. The one of the things that I think when it comes to movies, and I have not, I have fallen off on both video games and movies over the years of how like in my in-depth knowledge. But I will say, when it comes to movies, there are movies that you feel like if you watch it, why didn't this person? And it is political because movies and people campaign for these awards, even though they say they don't, or but there's a very sophisticated way to get your movie nominated or your
Hmm.
person nominated. With video game awards, it is kind of murky in how these things are chosen. Jeff Keighley says that there's media outlets, there's fan voting, and there's media outlets who vote on this stuff that help choose who gets nominated. What I will say with the video game awards this year is I think this is a good um, for game of the year. I feel this is one of the best nomin- video game nominations that covers a wide variety of games. So you have, if we do game best of the year, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Hades 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Death Stranding 2, and Claire Obscure.
You
I
skipped
think,
Kingdom Come.
huh?
You skipped
Oh,
Kingdom
sorry.
Come Deliverance.
Sorry, I didn't scroll all the way down. So you have these.
Wait, where are you looking right now?
I'm on the website.
Oh, because I have it on our thing that we're streaming.
So I wasn't looking at yours. I was actually going through and I was looking
Okay,
and I was
gotcha.
so I wasn't like actually looking at the our website or
Okay,
our page.
I
One
got
of the things that I think is very interesting about this, it's like outside of a simulator game and a fighting game, this covers a multitude of genres and the biggest dichotomy in gaming, if that makes sense. So you have an RPG, a JRPG, whatever the hell Death Stranding is, Donkey Kong Bonanza, a would you call that an arcade or a platformer?
you. Yeah, sure, a platformer for
Okay.
sure.
Hades, which two is a roguelike, and Silk Song, which is another roguelike. I think I like this nomination group.
Hmm.
Um, I the only snub that I would say is Ghost of Yote, but I haven't played it, so I can't say it's a snub. But I would have liked to have seen it nominated in Game of the Year. But according to the masses, it is not Game of the Year material. And
Sure.
I do wonder if it was a male protagonist, would there be more clamoring for it to be in Game of the Year?
I mean, who knows? Maybe it's possible. I think the game that should be on there that isn't on there is Blueprints.
Now,
That is a game that got a lot of love at the beginning of the year. That's a game I
it
played. I loved. It's nominated maybe I think best indie game or
is,
something.
yes, it is in Best Indie,
Um,
along with Claire Obscure. Um, what else is it nominated with? Um, damn it, where I just had it. Best art direction. Nope. Best indie debut game.
mhm.
Dispatch, Blueprints, Claire Obscure, and Displote?
Dispolota, yeah.
Displote. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I'm a little out of touch this year with some of these games because the only one that I have played, and it was only partially, was the demo, was Death Stranding 2.
There's a demo for Death Stranding too.
I thought there was
I don't. I'm not saying that there is. I just didn't know.
I thought there
Um,
was one. I thought I played one on the PlayStation. Maybe that was a dream. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what's going on. My house is full of boxes. I am packing for the move
mhm.
and work. I'm working two jobs, and the part time is the easiest thing going in my life
Hmm.
with everything going on. I honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. In this stream, a tiny toddler could come out here and demand ribs from me, and I would know what to do. That that's my wife. My life is. Remember in Mad Max when he's like, "My world is fire. My life is
Mhm.
chaos."
Okay. Yeah. To going back to the game of the year, Blueprints. I don't. When I was talking this, I was gonna say, I don't know if I want to use the word snub because I haven't played every game in there to know what is bad or isn't good. I just do think Blueprint should have gotten in more categories because it was so loved at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Um, but having said that, I don't know what I would get rid of to put it in its place. If I had to say one off the top, I would probably say Kingdom Come Deliverance
I
2.
knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna
But
say that.
the thing is, I haven't played it, so I don't know. I've seen people play it, and it seems interesting. Um, that's just the one I would say, just because I have the least amount of familiarity with it.
Now, here's the funny thing, and because we were talking about this earlier, I think we don't have video games releasing at certain times of the year for us for award season because movies are different. But I do believe eventually, if the video game awards ends up being the Oscars of the video games, we may start to see video games release if you get a handle on crunch and you get a handle on development. I do believe you will start to see if it's possible that video games could go the route of some movies because if the bump is worth it, you may release your game later, closer to when the nomination is. Because I do wonder if Blueprints was dropped later in the year versus earlier in the year, does that impact the voting? Like because we see
Possibly.
that we see that with movies. We know this time of the year is when movies are released and they're called Oscar bait. We've seen movies released in limited time in the theater from a Netflix or an Apple during this time because they're hoping it meets that window and that criteria of being in theaters long enough to be recognized And we know that in January, if a movie is released or in that first before the spring, a lot of those movies are like dumped stuff that studios have held on to and they don't think it'll do well. It's a slow season. We've seen that. And as the theater market has changed, I do wonder with video gaming changing with Microsoft making changes with the way Xbox hardware works. Um, when you don't have behemoths like GTA, does gaming change a little bit where we do start to see that? I don't think that we're going to see it anytime soon, but Jeff Keighley's a young guy, and the video game awards are very popular, so we could see that.
I think what's more likely to happen is I think games are less likely to worry about the game awards and continue to be more likely to worry about releasing during the holiday season.
True.
I feel like that's the bump that they worry about more than the game works, at least for now, is trying to get stuff out during the holiday season. Like you look at GTA November 19th. I don't know
Hmm.
when Thanksgiving is next year, but I mean that is pretty close to Black Friday. If
Oh
you
yeah,
know that
that's like
that is definitely something like, oh yeah, we're worried about Black Friday.
that's Black Friday adjacent. But here's the thing: what changes the dates of
Oh,
nomination? Because here's the thing: I wonder because we talked about this, and I'm trying to remember what game it was. Do they consider GTA 6 a 2026 release for the Video Game Awards, or is that a 2027?
it probably 2027.
But here's the thing: let's be honest, a game that size could make you change and move your skid. That's what I'm saying. Like I do like with movies, it's different because the Oscars are so established. You can game the system, but not that much. The way these companies are, and the fact that Jeff Keighley has to play nice with some of these companies to get them to release trailers. Rockstar doesn't really play nice; they just do their own thing. So it would be interesting to see where that game falls when it next year when it comes up Game of the Year awards.
I mean, based on the way the current rules are now, if everything's stood in place, I believe it would not be considered for next year's game awards. It would be considered for 2027
Okay.
because November 19th would be out of the date.
Hmm.
Um, it's interesting you talk about playing nice with Jeff Keighley because Rockstar doesn't and they do whatever they want. I don't feel like Jeff Keighley would change the rules because it's not going to affect what Rockstar does anyway.
That is true.
So it's not like, oh, we'll get you in this time to get a trailer. Like they're still not going to give you a trailer, so it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting if they did change the rules. That then I would be like, huh, Jeff, I don't know that I.
The integrity of your awards.
Yeah, I don't know about the integrity of your awards if you tried to get Grand Theft Auto in here for this, just based on if it comes out on the 19th.
But
Because if you look at Indiana Jones and
mm,
the
Temple
whatever
of
the new
Doom,
Indiana Jones games is, what
Crystal
was it?
Skull,
No, no, not the movie, the game.
Lost City of Gold,
Indiana Jones in the Circle of something, whatever it is, the
Circle of
Golden
Life,
Circle,
The Search for Simba.
whatever it is. That game came out last year, but it's in this year's Game Awards because it was past the time. And I think it's nominated in at least two categories, if not
Mhm.
then one category.
But this goes back to my point. Does it does it suffer from being released when it was released when it comes to the video game awards because you said it was only nominated in a couple of categories. If that game's released later in the year, closer to when people do their voting, does that affect it? Because here's the other thing. Does the game of the year bump help a game? How much money does that help? We do know an Oscar there is a such thing as an Oscar bump. If a movie is nominated, we do see it being re-released in the theaters. We've seen that before. So I do believe as video games becomes more and more mainstream and more acceptable as commercial art, because this video games are art. Whether we want it, we can argue about it, but video games, even though they are an experience, they're still art. And I want to pulling that thread a little bit when you talk about the integrity of the video game awards, because right now, if you go to best indie game, which we were just talking about, you notice the games that I named, there's one game that's not on there, on that list.
Best indie game. Where is that
Mhm.
at?
Go back up. Oh,
Best
see,
independent game or best debut indie game?
best debut indie game.
Best debut indie game. Okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So there are four games listed. There was a fifth game on that list, and it got pulled. And it got pulled because the developer behind it said, "Hey, I am not an indie. This is not my first game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game called Megabonk,
Mm-hmm.
and it's made by hold on, Megabonk.
Do we know who it's made by?
Yes, it's made by hold on, Ved Vedanad. So this has caused kind of a not a controversy, but an interesting story. So Megabonk on Steam has a very positive reviews. Um, Released on September the 18th of this year. The guy or the person, I don't want to misgender anybody, the person behind this game has tweeted out, "Hey, this is not my first game. I've made other games under another name." Jeff Keighley noticed that and respected the wishes of the developer and pulled the game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's rumors or speculation that this game is made by a developer called Danny, and Danny has a couple other games under his belt or that person's belt. And that if you look at the developer and the publisher of Vedanad, Vedanad spelled backward is Danny Dev. And a lot of people who've played his games or that person's game says that Megabonk matches the gameplay and the style and humor of some of the other games of that developer. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's interesting you talk about integrity. Here's someone who has said, "Hey, I appreciate the love. I'm not, this should go to another debut indie game developer."
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Keighley respect the wishes and pulled the game. However, they did not do this with Dave the Diver in 2023. So I do believe there is, when you talk about integrity, there is this evolving thing with the video game awards, recognizing, and I think this is a good thing. I think it challenges Jeff and his team to always be on the up and up and to be paying attention to this kind of stuff, because you could essentially game the system. And I think it does make them look at their screening process to say what is a best debut indie game. Because if you look at some of these games, does Claire Obscure qualify? It does, but if you look at Megabonk was made by one person, one developer, versus Claire Obscure, who was made by a team of people. So I do think this is something going forward. We're going to see the video game awards to change and evolve. But I do think that integrity thing you talk about is very important when it comes to this.
Go. I'm hung up on the thing you said about him dropping because you compared it to when Dave the Diver was there. Did
Mhm.
the company want the game pulled?
Dave the Diver.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing: Dave the Diver, the developer behind Dave the Diver, said, "We're not an indie game. We have a we are made by we're indie developers, but we're backed by a South Korean. It's not Crafted. What's the name of that developer behind them? But they didn't ask for it to be pulled. They
Okay.
just highlighted like, hey, we might be in the wrong category. So I
Okay.
think that's interesting going forward.
Okay.
What these categories and what is in these categories and who is picking them. And if you notice something, how do you rectify that?
I mean, I feel like the biggest story of all this is just the fact that we get to celebrate games that people are making different kinds of stuff. I think it goes back to the very thing you said at the top of, if you look at the game of the year, there's such a wide variety of stuff you get to play, from like an RPG to a JRP, like you said, to a
Mhm.
Metroidvania, all that stuff. I think that's great. Um,
I
only
think
thing it could have been more is if there was some sort of intense puzzle game in there or something. I don't know, but I think that is such a great opportunity that all those games are probably fantastic. And I think it just gives you an opportunity to be like, hey, there's something I haven't played yet. Like,
yeah.
I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Hmm.
I probably won't unless it becomes part of PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass, and I can
Hmm.
play it that way. Um, but I am more curious to play because I've seen other people enjoy it so much. Hades 2 is another one, which that one I will most likely play. I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm,
Well, that and you enjoyed the first one.
yeah, I did. Because I'm still busy playing Blueprints. I need to get back to it. I kind of fell off because I've been playing Two Point Museum. Oh, speaking of which, I'm happy Two Point Museum got a nomination. I don't think it'll win, but I'm happy it got a nomination. It's a fantastic sim style game where you get to run a museum.
Okay. Um, so let's start with best narrative.
Best narrative.
Uh huh.
Okay.
For outstanding storytelling, narrative development in a game. So we have Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Silent Hill F. Is there anything that stands out to you about any of these games, or
I mean, the thing that stands out to me is how many nominations overall Claire Obscur got. I think it got 12, which is the
Mhm.
most ever,
Yeah,
which is great. Uh, nothing. I'm not shocked that any of these games are here. I think a lot of people, when they played them, people were really into it. Well, you know what? I take that back. I think a lot of people were saying that the thing that kind of hold Ghost of Yote back is that the story was kind of generic. That's what I heard. Like they thought the story was fine, but they weren't like, oh man, this is something telling something due. Like, no, this is a revenge tale,
yeah,
and it's a revenge tale told well, but it's not like,
it's not groundbreaking.
yeah, it's not a groundbreaking revenge tale.
Well, I do wonder how much of that is the protagonist is a woman, and like let's not act like that is not part of the criticism the game got. Um, Now, does that color everything about the game? No, I don't think so. But I do believe that is a criticism that I do wonder if it was Jen versus this new character, would we still be leveling these criticisms on this game? But I think one of the things I like about this is that, again, five different games. So Silent Hill, horror; Kingdom Come, RPG; Ghost of Yotei, action adventure; excuse me, Claire Obscure, JRPG; Death Stranding, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Like that's the best way I could describe Death Stranding too. Um, so I'm. This is the thing that I like about gaming, and something else. And I MMOs and live service games have their own category, and very rarely, if ever, do we see them in these categories.
Hmm.
And I like that. I like I like the fact that we're seeing, not that you can't play, not that you can have multiplayer, not for those people who like it. I do like the fact that we have best narrative, um, best narrative, best game direction. Like we have different aspects of a game that aren't just about skins, loot boxes, the things that we all rage against, that are basically the lottery in gaming, or the nickel and dime you to get you to separate you from your money.
Sure.
Um, so What's a category that you liked the games that were in it or something that stood out to you?
Let's see. Mm, I think it's interesting this year, and to be fair, it's kind of on Nintendo. Nintendo did not have a lot of representation this year
Hmm.
overall with gaming. There was Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World is there.
Yeah.
That's only in I think Best Family
I'm
Game.
looking at Best Family now. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossroads, and Split Fiction.
Yeah, it's there. I don't. I'm gonna go to Best. Oh no, okay. Mario Kart World is also is in Best Racing. I don't think it'll win because a lot of people are like, yeah, this ain't it. Mario Kart World is cool, but it's not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah. And
Um, let's see.
and here's the thing, and this is where I guess again it goes back to your point. I would like to see them not win only because but I know and
Oh,
here's the thing.
don't worry, they won't.
But here's the thing, and I think this is goes back to your point that I wish them not winning would affect what they price that game at or at future game. But
Hmm.
we know that's not going to. But in movies, not winning an award, not qualifying, those things at from the Oscars do affect the movie industry. We have seen that, and so I guess that's one of the things I wish the game awards had that kind of power and effect on gaming to kind of change some patterns and trends. But we're not there yet, and I'll be honest with you, frankly, we may never be.
I don't think we ever will be just because of the development pipeline of how a game is made versus a movie.
Hmm.
Because it takes so long now to make what 5 6 years to make a game. I think they're more concerned about so
Profits.
let's say you don't win the game awards in
Hmm.
2026 or whatever,
Yeah.
and you start on a game in 2027. I don't know if what is that 5 years down the road. So is that 2032?
Hmm.
You're worried about what you won or lost in 2026. It's such a unless there's a way to make games faster at the same quality. It seems like it's so far away. They almost forget whether or not they won. Does that make sense?
True, but here's the thing. I will counter that with I do believe as AI does become more and more accessible and feasible, and I do believe the amount of money that it takes to develop games and in gaming will change the trends of what games we get. We
Sure.
have seen live service like Sony. Jim Ryan before he left went all in balls deep into live service games. We have seen Sony swing and a miss
Hmm.
on just about every live service game that they have tried, with the exception of Helldivers. We saw Concord fail. We saw whatever that Splatoon thing knockoff they had. Um, I do believe the even though they are chasing this almighty dollar, I do wonder with and I don't want to say something like market forces or trends, but we are seeing single player gaming take precedence. And that's what I think I like about the video game awards when it comes to best game, best narrative, best art direction. We are seeing more of these single player games highlighted in these settings. So I'm hoping we're going to get more of those. I'm hoping a Claire Obscure does break the mold. More Baldur's Gate does change people's idea of what can be achieved in gaming.
Hmm.
We're always going to have a Call of Duty. But here's the thing. Call of Duty right now that just got released is being crucified. And
Yeah.
I think they learned the wrong lessons from Call of Duty. Was it Call of Duty 3? I think they learned the wrong lessons from that because it did sell. And so maybe when you see these games being nominated and highlighted along with the way the money is trending, maybe we do see, okay, let's shorten these development windows. Maybe we don't have to show do on these leaves? Because again, how does the game play?
Hmm.
So let's pick. I'm gonna pick a category that's near and dear to your heart. Let's do. We did best debut indie game. Let's do best independent game.
Okay.
So if you had to choose,
Hmm.
who would you pick for this?
That's tough.
I, that's why I picked it.
That's tough because I am playing a lot of these. I mean,
Yep.
I spent so
Yep.
much time in Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Really love that game.
Because you love that game so much, you were like, I need you to play this so we can talk about it.
Yeah, you never did because you're garbage. Um,
So mean.
what else? I mean, Blueprints. I love. Again, I fell off not because it was bad, but just stuff happens. You start playing other games. I got to get back to that. But I'm really enjoying Blueprints. Uh, Ball Pit. I just picked up because it's on Game Pass. That is like the new version of Brick Breaker. Who thought you could reinvent Brick Breaker? These people did, and it's fantastic. Hades 2, classic. Hollow Knight Silksong, not for me, but I recognize that it's very good.
But you
So
did play it, and you're like,
Silksong, no, I've not played Silksong.
I thought you did. I thought you said you played. Oh no,
No,
you said
I
you
played
played
Hollow.
Hollow Knight. That's right,
Yeah,
Hollow Knight. You.
yeah, I haven't played Silksong. I
Oh,
see
excuse
people
me.
play.
Oh,
No, that's too difficult for me.
sorry, one of my coworkers. I apologize, Andy. Shout out to Andy. Um, he's playing Silk Song, and he was like, because we were talking, because that. So he was talking about it. And he was like, "Oh yeah, they were right. This game is hard."
Hmm.
And he was like, "But I don't want it to change. He's like, I want the game to challenge me. I don't want them to dumb it down or to make it. I want to rise to the challenge." So
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick a winner, I would probably say Blueprints.
Now, is that your heart talking, or is that your? Because you've already said on this particular video, you want Blueprints to get more love.
Yeah.
Now, you love Blueprints
Yeah.
and Claire Obscure. Are you saying Blueprints should win because you know Claire is going to get more love in other places, or do
I
you
mean,
think it
your
really should
original
be?
question was who would I pick, right?
Yeah,
I would
I'm
pick Blueprints. I think the game that will win will be Claire Obscure.
okay.
Yeah,
I
but I would
I'm
pick Blueprints.
I'm asking, are you picking Blueprints because of these other factors? Like, are you picking it because you know Claire would win and Claire's going to win other awards throughout the night?
I don't know that I understand. I feel like there's too many variables in your question.
No,
What I'm saying is I would pick Blueprints because that is the one I like out of these for the most best independent game.
I guess I was asking is, are you, what is the influences that make you pick that?
I think it's different. I think it's an interesting puzzle game. I
Mhm.
will say accessibility options for it aren't great for like colorblind people. I heard that's not that
Mhm.
great, which is interesting because colors definitely matter in that game. I won't spoil anything, but being able to differentiate what colors are what definitely would determine how you attack rooms in there. Um, Best independent game. I mean, I recognize Claire Obscure does a lot of stuff well, but Blueprints. I think Blueprints is one person or a very small team of people, and I just want to recognize that. So that's why I would go with that for Blueprints.
Okay.
Best independent game.
So you mentioned just now accessibility. So let's go innovation and accessibility.
Oh, I don't know any of these games.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, sorry. What I mean is, I don't. Well,
You didn't play any of these games, but
no, because isn't Midnight in there?
yep.
I did play that one, um, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't really use the accessibility options, so I don't really know what they did.
No, but I guess I want to switch over to that because I think what I like about this category, look at the genre of games in this. This
Hmm.
is what I like. I guess this is what I love about gaming. You have Assassin's Creed, Shadows. I don't have to name them all, but you have action adventure. You have whatever Doom is, EA Sports, FC 26, and South of Midnight. And I think you have different color palettes, different genre of games, and they all are being nominated for the best of accessibility. So I understand you talked about blueprints and the colors, but what I like about it is when you look at the companies involved and you look at the games involved, you have everybody from Ubisoft over there on one side, Xbox Game Studios on this side, you got Doom in the middle, you've got EA over there, the Evil Empire, and you've got Atomfall. So that's what I like about gaming, the fact that there's the diversity of these categories
Sure. Yeah.
and the diversity of these games in this category and the diversity of categories. And so when you talked about accessibility and blueprints, I wanted to highlight this because I think this is awesome. And
Yeah.
I want South of Midnight to get more love.
Um, that game was fine, but like it is a
No, see, here's the thing. This is where I'm going to challenge you on this. You were like, the game is fine.
yeah.
We need more protagonists that look like that in games across the gamut, whether they're great or mid.
Yeah,
Because
but I would say give me a great game with the black female protagonist.
here's the thing.
Don't give me an okay game with the black female
Here's
protagonist.
the thing. You're doing the tal. This is where I would disagree with that. Yes, I would like great games with a black protagonist, but they all can't be great.
Why
And
can't they be?
because everything you're this is where I believe you're falling into the talented tenth that Booker T. Washington had, where I think that is an unrealistic expectation where we always have to be the best just to be recognized. Like we just can't exist. And I think this is a game where it's mid, and mid games are fun, and you should be able to play as a black girl or black woman in a game that's just okay.
I'll disagree, but okay.
I mean, you're wrong because here's my thing: how many protagonists do we have that are just white guys, whether they're great or mid, and or just bad?
Hmm. But
We
my
could.
argument isn't that because she's black, she has to be great. I just want it to be a great game, and she can be black.
I do, but I where I would disagree was that the fact that it's I don't need it to be great. I need it to just be playable and good. And is it good?
I enjoyed the story.
See, and that's what I'm getting at. That's what that's if you enjoyed it, then it's good.
I
It
mean,
doesn't have
yeah, but I can go back to Forspoken if that was. I mean, if that's what we're
no. Well, that's different things. Forspoken was broken. I didn't mean to rhyme. I'm sorry. That
okay.
there were problems with Forspoken. It looked great, but I think Forspoken was a different type of. South of Midnight brought something new, something we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I
Forspoken,
would say this in terms of like immersive storytelling or just
yeah,
being engrossed in the lore
hmm
and hearing the gothicness. Is it Southern Gothic? I don't know that it's
it's
Southern
Southern
Gothic, but
Gothic.
it's like
It's Southern Gothic.
is it? Okay, sure. Um, but like the myths and everything in it were very interesting. I would like, I would say this. I do hope it being recognized here would allow it to get a sequel. I don't think it will because I don't think it sold well. Um, but if they could do a sequel and they could expand upon it, I would be cool with that.
I would like that, but here's the thing: something you said and I'm trying to extrapolate that to, and maybe, and this is my fault. I'm not explaining it as well as I could have. I think we need more of these type games with more of these protagonists because I do think more people need to see themselves
I'd
in
agree with
game,
that.
and I think these type of stories, excuse me, should be told, can be told, and they all don't have to be $300 and $200 million. Because what I will say is, for the amount of money that this took to make and the amount of money it made is pennies compared to what Doom of Dark, it just in this category, Doom the Dark Ages took to make and how much it made. If that makes sense. Like, give me more South of Midnight. We're going to get more Doom games. Like, that's just a fact. We're going to get more of them. No matter how badly it sells, we're going to get more of them because it's a known property. So I'm not worried about Doom the Dark Ages. I do want to see more South of Midnight, whether it's good or bad, because I think that is more. I think it's important for those games to exist, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So we just did accessibility. Um, let's do um, best art direction.
Mm-hmm. We got Clair Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Hmm. Why do you think Hades 2 is in here?
Because it looks cool.
Let me back up. I apologize. With all the criticism Hades 2 got, what puts it above some of these other games that we saw, like a Donkey Kong, like Mario Kart, Blueprints? Like, what made this stand out art wise? Like, I understand some of these other games, but what about this game stood out?
Well, I mean, for one, I feel like the art direction is not just what are the prettiest graphics. It's just what has a cohesive whole, right?
Hmm.
So for me, I feel like these games each have cohesion within their stuff, especially Hades 2. A big thing about Hades 2 that was in Hades 1 as well are those hand drawn, are those lovingly drawn silhouettes of the figures when they like the still figures when they're speaking. That had a whole fandom shipping all the people and being in love with everybody else because all the people looked great.
Hmm. Only reason why I asked is because I would have thought something like a Monster Hunter Wilds or even South of Midnight might have cracked this category.
Yeah, I don't know that people really thought Monster Hunter Wilds looked all that great
Really? So
compared to Monster Hunter Worlds.
see, here's the thing. I thought it did, but then again, that's not my game. I will say, and we've talked about this before. The last, what came before Wilds
World.
World. Me and you looked at that game and we were like, "Yo, we should buy this and play it because it was cheap." And we were like, "We should stream this on Twitch
Hmm.
and just get into it." I did think Wilds looked amazing. I
Okay.
remember when that trailer dropped. I mean, you talked about it. I was shocked that it was not in this category, only because I was impressed, and it did make me after World because I did look at World and was like, I don't this this game may not be for me, but it looks amazing. So
So in your mind, you would take our Hades 2 to put in Monster Hunter Wilds?
uh or I would throw see I'm in I th- I don't have an Xbox. I mean I do, but it's wait, what the attic's over there. So like everything's boxed up.
Hmm.
Um I really loved the art direction behind South of Midnight. So, and I don't have an Xbox to play it, and I'm not playing Game Pass, so um, I do want to play it. Like, if I do get Game Pass again, that will be a game I play. Um, but I do like, I do want more things like that. And again, I did not play Hades 2. I'm not ragging it. I'm not trying to knock it. It did seem to look like Hades 1. So, or Hades. So that's why I was like,
So then, if you make that argument, 4 of these games are sequels.
yes,
So why Hades over the other ones?
I will say the same thing about Hollow Knight Silk Song. But again, that could be my bias where these are not games for me,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Like, I
Sure.
think Hollow Knight amazing looks amazing. I think Silk Song looks amazing. But when it comes to art direction, it didn't change the game for me like some of these other ones. Claire Obscure, the art direction behind that, it's, I'm gonna be honest with you, the combinations of genres is like nothing I've ever seen before. Death Stranding just looks like a fever dream that I'm just like, it's it's a lot. Ghost of Yote, there's a lot of things that are similar. There's a lot of things that's different. So that's why I felt those that way about those games. These two, I could take them or leave them. But again,
It's interesting that both those are 2D games
but
or
also,
2D style games compared to like these fully or more
mhm,
3D realistic
but
environments.
also these are two games that are not for me.
Hmm.
So that's why I said it could be my bias showing.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with all this stuff here in art direction. I think I'm happy that we have 2D style games, we have the 3D games, we have games that
Mhm.
are more realistic looking, games that have uh, you know, set in time periods and with all different color palettes. I think it's great.
I'd like to switch over to, and I'm still unsure, and maybe you can explain it to me. And we've had this conversation before. I'm not rehashing anything. Let's go to best action game because this is where, what's the difference
Why are
between,
these first person shooter games in the action genre? What
yeah,
are you asking? Well, because they don't have a first person shooter category anymore.
not just, so not just action game. Why is, I don't like that Battlefield 6 is up against Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden, even though I am not, like, I'll play them, but I'm not passionate about them. I'm not passionate about Battlefield 6. I how does this work? I really wish there was more of an explainer. Like, I
Well,
wish if, as I click on this category, Jeff Keighley or somebody would be like, best action game is such and such. Like, this is why we, how we come to this conclusion. Because when I see this, I am just put off by this hodgepodge of games.
I think it goes with the subline under best action game. For the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. All these games are focused on combat, just different ways you do combat. I think when every year, and I don't know, chat let me know. Sometimes a category is removed and a category could be added or changed or whatever. And because there's no FPS category, why isn't there an FPS category? I don't know. Maybe because a lot of people weren't voting for it. I don't know.
Here's
So
the
it's like,
thing.
okay, we got to do something else to get stuff here.
Well, here's the thing. Why is there a best action and then there's a best action and adventure? Because here's the thing. You just said what action was, but if you go on best action adventure, for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. So why isn't Donkey Kong Bonanza in here?
In action adventure,
Hmm.
I don't know what's in action adventure.
Th- that's what I'm saying. Death Stranding 2, hold on. Ghost of Yote, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and Great Circle, and Split Fiction. And
I would say
this,
a lot of those do have a lot of interesting puzzle mechanics.
and I guess that goes back to the idea of, if we're talking about platforming, does it have to have all three?
I don't know. I think these definitions are so whatever because games there are so many. We talked about with Claire Obscure and all the different things it does in its video game and all the
Mhm.
genres it puts together. I
Yeah,
think so many games try to put so many things in there that they're all different types of hodgepodges, so they can fit in so many different categories now. But I do think it's weird to see Doom and Battlefield in here when
right.
when you could have just made a shooting.
You and so here's my thing. To me, there should be a best FPS game. Just like I do believe there should be a best live service game. And we have best multiplayer, which,
They have a best live service game, right? And the best ongoing game.
and so here's best ongoing. Now here's the thing. This is where I disagree with this category. Final Fantasy, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Right?
Uh huh.
No Man's Sky is not live service.
Well, I mean, so
That
you want something you don't want an ongoing. You want a different category.
that yes, I want a first. I want, if you're going to do best ongoing, I believe that first person shooter should be its own category, and first person shooter should be can have could have a live service game in it. What game does the best first person shooter mechanics to the table? And if that happens to be a live service game, that happens to be a live service game. But I do believe live service is its own thing, and best ongoing kind of like dips in both pools. Because No Man's Sky, if you buy No Man's Sky, you pay one price, you have this entire game at your fingertips. And I think it's amazing.
Wait, so if I buy No Man's Sky, I have every DLC ever created for it?
Boom.
Are you
You didn't
sure?
know that? Yep.
Huh?
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No,
Yeah. I will
that's interesting.
I will say this. No Man's Sky, pound for pound, is the best price game in gaming. For what it gives you and what it does, best game.
Okay.
Now, it it could be better explaining how the game works. There's a lot of like figuring it out on your own, but there's enough wiki pages and Reddits and all that other stuff, YouTube channels. I do believe the game should be better at that. But pound for pound, as much as that game costs and what you get with it, no other game gives you that kind of value
Okay.
outside of Warframe, because you can do everything in Warframe for free without paying buying anything and learning the economy in that game. And excuse me, you can make money in that game. And I think those two games are the best ongoing and
Mhm.
best pound for pound, dollar for dollar, what you get for it. So let me ask you this:
Mhm.
um, after looking at all of the awards,
Mhm.
uh, what outside of the live service, not live service, outside of the Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, is that what it's called? I don't know. I paid for it. Look,
Who knows what
oh shoot,
category is what?
I might need to cancel that. Um, But anyway, out of all these games that you've looked at, what game stands out that you're like, okay, I'm going to purchase that. I'm going to go out of my way to play that, regardless of if it's on this service, or I'm going to put my money towards it.
Ghost of Yote,
Hmm.
but I mean that's already kind of lopsided because I wanted to buy that before the nominees were announced.
Hmm.
I just knew based on what Ghost of Tsushima did,
Hmm.
where they put everything together in a Game of the Year edition with all the stuff. I'm kind of waiting on that. I'm hoping, or I don't know if there is DLC coming for Ghost of Yote, but I'm hoping if there is an extra island or something or whatever that they package all together, and I'll just wait to buy the Game of the Year edition. So that's
Okay.
kind of why I haven't pulled the trigger yet because I've also been thinking, oh, I might get it for Black Friday, but I can just wait till next year. I got so many games to play now. I can wait till next year and play that one.
True. Um, yeah, like I'm looking at this, and you know what? I will go to one category we didn't touch on. I think we should. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Uh, the category I think is most interesting, even though this is one of those things where like you're up against a juggernaut in this. So let's take out one game and then let's go to most anticipated game. Take out Grand Theft Auto and then tell me what are you most excited about?
Mm, probably Wolverine,
Okay.
but that's. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's yeah Wolverine, but again, I don't do scary games, so Resident Evil Requiem, no, no, thank you. That's already
Okay.
lost my vote. But again, I'm sure it's going to be a good game. That's just not a game for me.
Okay.
Witcher 4, that crazy concept video that they showed was wild. How close they
Yeah.
get to it, I don't know. But man, that looked good. First Light is kind of interesting because the two videos I've seen of it haven't been great, but at the same time, it is made by IO Interactive, and their Hitman series is incredible. So I don't know.
So if I had to rank them, and I know this is going to be a hot take or controversial, I would say even with if I throw in Grand Theft Auto,
Oh, I know you put that at the bottom.
no.
Oh, you wouldn't? Okay.
Witcher, First Light, Grand Theft Auto, Wolverine, and then Resident Evil.
So why do you think that's controversial?
For me, it is because Wolverine, as a fan of the character in Marvel, it is not my number one, and Grand Theft Auto is not. I am intrigued by this game. I am really intrigued by Grand Theft Auto right now,
Hmm.
and I as much as I love Insomniac, I'm not. It's not that I'm not sold. It's one of those things where I'm more intrigued by these new entries. I'm more intrigued by what they do with The Witcher 4 because
Hmm.
I thought The Witcher 3 was one of the greatest games of all time. Not just great game of that year, that genre, one of the greatest games of all time. So I'm
Okay.
interested to see what they do with The Witcher. I'm interested in what they do with this First Light. Like, it's not a Hitman game. It's made by the same people. But how do you expand upon the lore that is the 007, and how do you make this game, why do you make me care for this 007,
Hmm.
this generic white dude? How do you make me care for him? Whereas and then I am more intrigued by Grand Theft Auto than I am Wolverine because I'm intrigued by that story, if that makes sense. Like I know, like everybody wants to play Wolverine and the hack and slash and all of the other stuff, but I am more intrigued about where they go with this story, considering where they've been. And they said they were not going to make a Grand Theft Auto 6 for a while because they were like, we cannot top what is going on in the current climate right now.
Hmm.
Their Rockstar's on record and being like, nothing we do. And then they were like, wait, we got something. I
Hmm.
want to know what it is that they got. So that's why I said, yeah, for me, this is, and if you would have told me years ago, I'd be interested in a Grand Theft Auto 6. I'd have said you're crazy.
Hmm.
I didn't. Don't come for me in the chat, but I will talk to you. I always thought Grand Theft Auto was overrated, but I watched that trailer. We reviewed it. We
Hmm.
reacted to it. I'm not gonna lie to you. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, okay, I want to play it. I do. Now, not at $100, not even $80, but I do want to play that game. So that's why I said for me that's not controversial, a hot take, but as much as I love Wolverine, as much
You
as I
learned
love
something about yourself tonight.
what
Your ranking of the most anticipated games. You learned something about yourself.
I did, but I will say this: I kind of knew this. I just never said it out loud. Yeah, I like now. I will say this: I'm actually shocked. I do think there are some snubs on here that um, I do believe the Halo game should have been on there. I do believe Gears of War E Day should have been on there. I would have taken Resident Evil and I would have put Gears of War up there.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I think the community around those games right now are just they just want people to come back.
They're hurting.
Um, yeah, a little bit because I think a lot of people wanted to know where they were going in the current Gears of War storyline with five,
Mhm. Yeah.
um,
Agreed.
to see where Gears of War 6 is going. So like E Day, like okay,
I I am interested in E Day and I'm wondering, is that a soft reboot? Or is that just something to tide people over to get back to six? Because here's my question, and we can wrap on this. What we just did anticipated game. What trailer do you want to see?
Final Fantasy
I
Part
knew you
Three.
were going to say that. Damn, I should have called it.
Yeah,
I
Final
knew.
Fantasy Part Three. That's what I want. Um, I'm people who have been following us for a long time know my story about Final Fantasy VII, the
Yep.
original, and how I didn't care.
You trashed it. You called it the worst Final Fantasy. You thought it was overrated. You
I
were
don't know
like,
if I ever said it was the worst Final Fantasy.
you said it was not as good as nine. Or was it eight? Was it eight or nine?
Maybe I said six because I don't really care about eight or nine like that. Six is my
I'm
favorite
trying to
Final
remember
Fantasy.
which one because when we first started this channel, the way you talked about seven is the way I'm. I was gonna say something, but you know what? It's
I mean,
it's
also part of that was me just trolling to be um, hyperbolic, but
no, you really were like, I don't see what all the hype is. You were very much like, this is overrated, and I don't see what the hype is, and you had a disdain for people who thought this game was the shit.
I would push back on that. I don't know that I thought that
You
because
you
I don't really look at other people that like games like that. I don't think I'm like, oh, you like Final Fantasy VII, you're foolish.
no, you didn't do that, but you were like, your taste palette is below mine. You were
I don't
snobbish.
think
You
so.
no, you were very snobbish. Chat,
Show
tell
the
me,
receipts. Yeah, show me the
tell,
receipts on that because
chat,
that is not right.
tell me, was Michael very snobbish about Final Fantasy? But anyway, you've come around. You've seen the light. Cloud's the greatest.
Didn't nope. That's how Leroy works. He just says stuff that's not true unless you can call him out.
Sephiroth for president. Um,
Final Fantasy VI is still my favorite Final Fantasy, but I think Final Fantasy VII is fun.
Sephiroth for president.
And the reason why I think the original 7 is fun is because I played Remake. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me go back and play 7. And I got into it and enjoyed it.
Okay.
So I say all that to say I want to see part 3. I need to know where this is going. It seems like we're expecting part 3 to be 2027.
Oh, that's
So
optimistic.
so if that's the case, I mean, they feel like they feel confident what they're doing.
Mhm.
So like by March of 2027, that would have been 3.5, 4 years. I think that's what it was between the first two. So
Yeah, I don't see it.
let's see
2027.
let's see a first trailer.
Okay.
What trailer you want to see?
Oh, you already know.
I, I don't know.
I want to see either Naughty Dog's new game, whatever Naughty Dog is working on. I want to see that, or I want to see whatever Ben Studio.
Intergalactic, Interstellar,
Yep. hmm
Yeah.
The intergalactic Pharisees, Overwatch, Ball Black Women, whatever that game is. I want to see whatever Naughty Dog's working on, and I want to see whatever Ben Studio's working on.
Okay.
I would like to see either of those two. Um, I part of me wants what Santa Monica's working on with Kratos.
hmm
One of the rumors were they restart the whole thing and he goes back to the Greek gods. I don't care about that. We've seen that story before. What I challenge Santa Monica to do is give me the Orishas, give me he goes and fights African gods, Egyptian gods. Give me something new.
hmm
Give I would like to see that, but that's my wish. I know we're not going to get that, but give me those two studios, and I know because those are the franchises I care about. Just like you with Final Fantasy, I would love to see that. Give me something, because my thing is this: I'm good with my PS5 up until I'm good with my PS5 for years.
hmm
I may not buy the next generation console until my kids are old enough to want one.
hmm
So when the PS6 is announced, what is your launch titles? Is it a Gears of War? Is it Gears of War, whatever 6 is? Is it a Metal Gear Solid? I don't know, but right now I'm not excited about it because there's enough games right now that I have not played that I could catch up on without spending $1,000 on a new console for a bunch of games you're just going to upgrade to the PS6 version.
Sure.
So that's why I said you got for me, and I know there are a lot of people like this. You may not be in this category because you may be because you're balancing your budget better. You've talked about like I need to chill on some of these game consoles and games. I need to wait for sales, and you're planning trips now.
hmm
So you may not be because we talked about the new Microsoft Xbox. You're like, I'm not about to spend $1,200 for that, whatever it is. You were hesitant to buy the Switch too.
hmm
We
I mean, I
talked,
still bought it though. So what does that say?
but you didn't buy it on launch.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes.
I swear, I thought you didn't buy it on launch.
No, I went outside of a Best Buy in Rock Hill.
You didn't open it.
Yeah, I didn't open it for a while.
Sorry. You're right. You did because you had me looking. You were like, "Hey man, get on the Switch too," and I
Hmm.
was like, "So you're right. You are correct." Um, but no, we've talked about this. I have other responsibilities. Gaming may price me out of it. Um, so what does Sony have that makes me come back, which makes me buy a PS6?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. All right. So that wraps it up. We've been going about an hour. We probably there's other ways we could have handled this, but this is just our thoughts about the video game awards. We're gonna watch it. I don't know how we're gonna watch it. We'll definitely talk about it. Um,
I am off that day, so we may do a stream of it.
what day is that?
It's always a Thursday. I think the 11th.
I Yeah, that'll be a no for me, dog.
Okay, there we go.
Only reason why I don't know what my moving date is.
Sure.
We moved up our closing date. So our
Okay.
closing so I don't know. Our moving date was December the 12th.
Hmm.
So
That Friday.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we moved up our closing, so that changed everything. That's why I'm stressed.
Hmm.
Uh we're drinking out of a solo cup, but not really a solo cup, and I'm not really drinking. Um so yeah, that's so I'm gonna try. I'll jump in and out, but I don't know
We'll
what
see.
life has in store for me. What got you through the week?
Um,
Because
I've
man,
been rewatching Alton Brown's show Good Eats.
Mhm.
Loving that.
So one of the Ginger, friend of the show, Ginger used to work on that show.
I know Wendy tells me all the time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, Alton Brown's a cool dude. I was like, I'm glad to hear that. I enjoyed this show. It's
I,
fun.
I need more cool dudes like that.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Mm,
So doing that.
what are you playing?
What am I playing? 2 Point Museum.
Yeah.
Really grinding away on that. Ball Pit.
Hmm.
Playing that.
Okay.
Um, we just talked about Forspoken. I'm about to download that now because I think they just added it to PlayStation. Or no, it's about to leave PlayStation catalog. So I'm going to try and download that and beat it before it goes away.
Oh really?
Hmm.
Okay.
I think it might go away December 6th. So I got to get on it.
I need to download that too.
Yeah.
I think I might have already downloaded it. There's
Ah.
a lot of stuff that I need to play because I think my Plus Ultimate runs out in December or
Mm-hmm.
soon
Mm-hmm.
because I know I've had it for a year.
Okay.
Mm.
What got you through the week?
Uh, nothing. Barely hanging on by a thread, bro.
All right. There we go.
It's like, like I've been seeing a lot of those memes where they're like, "I now know why my dad looked like that." Like why dads have that look on their face, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I now know why my dad was always angry." It's like
Hmm.
I have become that person. Um, my brother is barely making it. Like I've stopped looking at the news every time I turn on. I'm like, what is going on? But I will say, Last Frontier on Apple Plus or Apple TV,
Hmm.
enjoy that. Me and my wife have been watching Disclaimer with Kate Blanchett. Once again, Apple TV is the best pound for pound quality streaming service. It reminds me of what HBO used to be.
Okay.
Sasha Baron Cohen is in it, and Dira, what's her name?
Varma?
She's yeah,
Irma
she's
or
the
whatever. Yeah.
narrator of the. Oh, loved like this. It's only 6 episodes, I think, or yeah, amazing. Kevin Kline is in it, and you'll see people you will not recognize Sasha Baron Cohen.
Hmm.
He is amazing. So we've been watching that, and I've gotten back into Legos.
Look at you catching
Uh,
up with the cool people.
well, I wasn't in it because I didn't have the space and I the money that was involved in it. And my wife had been getting on me about spending money,
Sure.
and 2 years ago, I bought an X-Wing Lego set, and it's just been sitting in the closet. And my nephew has gotten into Star Wars thanks to my brother-in-law.
Hmm.
And he asked, and then he asked, so we were talking Star Wars, and I told him I would get him some Lego sets. And he was like, not too big. And I was like, good thing you said that because your kid was about to get some shit. He's like, no, we can't handle that right now. And a Lego set, one of the space Lego sets went on sale
Hmm.
because it's retiring. And it's an older set that reminded me of a set that I had that my dad bought me. And
Okay.
it was normally $100. It was like on sale for 45. It's retiring, and I bought it. And Katie was like, "Why did you buy this?" And I was like, "My my dad wasn't for if you're new, you're old, whatever. I don't care. My dad used to be a Marine, and he went to the original Lego land and used to buy me Legos when his and his platoon would go to Norway and these different Scandinavian countries when Lego first started. And he bought me a set that I just bought close to that. And so I got a couple of sets of Legos in my closet that I was like, when my kids get of age, we're going to play with these things.
Hmm.
And so as I was watching videos and trying to get Christmas gifts for my nephew and my sons, I got back into Lego. And I've been watching brick videos, these different guys and different because I texted you and Avery
Hmm.
like these sets are retiring.
Yeah.
You need to check them out. And I've just gotten back into Lego. So
Yeah. Wendy and I have a bunch of sets we need to put together that are just sitting in a room now. Yeah.
I told my wife about the Millennium Falcon you guys bought,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, she's like, they bought this, and I was like, yeah. She's like,
No, 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 not a Millennium Falcon. We have the Imperial Star Destroyer.
how big is that one?
Very
I
big.
because I know it's the big box.
It,
See, I thought you bought the Millennium Falcon.
we no, we've looked at the Millennium Falcon. There's a small one that Wendy's thinking about getting that she might get for like, but it's not the one that's like 9,000
Yeah.
pieces or whatever.
See, I thought that's the one you got.
No, no, we haven't got that one. The biggest one we have is the Imperial Star Destroyer. That's like some huge amount of pieces, and
Oh
I
yeah,
think
I
that one
know.
might be retired. I don't know. We bought her a while ago.
Uh, I do want the Republic Cruiser. I
Mhm.
do want that one. But yeah, so that's what got me. Because and here's the funny thing, I never went away from Lego because I watch Brick Masters or Lego Masters on Fox
Mhm.
with Will Arnett. I've watched all the seasons, and I've loved that show, even though Will Arnett is okay.
Mhm.
Um, Lego Batman is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I didn't go anywhere. It's just so yeah. But other than that, let's wrap this up. So you've been watching the We Trying channel on Leroy. That's Michael. We talk about everything from video games to nonsense to you name it. We talk about it.
Mhm.
Uh, we up to a point that we don't get fired from our jobs. So
I'm more
because
concerned about that than Leroy is.
yeah, I work at a state job and it's gonna be a little hard to get me out.
Okay.
I'm like a tick.
Sure.
You go have to work for this. Anyway, that's it. Hit us up in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to me. I will talk back. Let us know what you think about the Video Game Awards and who did not get nominated that you wanted to see. Other than that, we're out. Peace. Go Celtics.